Hey guys, David Serpa here on Facebook, and we are live, and I'm here to talk to you guys about anything that you guys want to know. And this is the first time that I've done this from a computer, so we're kicking it off in a different way. Everybody that just saw me go live on Facebook saw that I am launching massive expansion teams. I'm here in Gig Harbor, Washington. Zach Bach is live right now in Temecula, California, and he is teaching about open houses. So a little bit about us, the Serpa team at KW. We just started with KW a couple of weeks ago, and our goal is to launch the largest expansion team in KW by helping people with massive systems, massive accountability, and massive results, and committing to do the simple things extraordinarily in 2018 and every year going forward that people just aren't willing to do. People aren't willing to work. And so on the Serpa team, we are willing to work, which is why we sent, Brandon sent 4 buyers to clients in the last week. Christy sent 3 over the weekend. Zach has 4 new listing appointments. Katie set up 2 listing appointments in this last week. Guys, if you want to work, the work is out there. You just have to be willing to show up to work. And that's what we're all about here at the Serpa team. So we're going to be kicking off the 33-day challenge on January 31st, which is our big brainchild here with KW. On January 30th, we're going to be teaching the 3 breakdowns of a deal live. My goal is to have it be the largest live class for KW. And just to give you an idea of some of the results that we have had, my team it's what has made the Serpa Six Figures agents. 100% of my team, my original OGs, made over $100,000 by taking the 3 breakdowns of a deal from me. Zach Bach did it in under a year, first person to do it since me, by taking the 3 breakdowns of a deal, and now he helps me teach it. So if you guys want to take the 3 breakdowns of a deal, make sure that you tune in live to the Temecula Market Center, to my Facebook page, and watch us go live. We will be teaching everything that you need to know about the 3 breakdowns of a deal so that you can become a Serpa six-figure agent, or so that you can make your own six-figure agents. I will also be telling people about our new stuff that we're working on with Darren Campbell and the 7-Figure Syndicator, and how you can become a 7-figure agent on a team. We're going to show you that it's possible on the Serpa team. Then we're going to kick it off January 31st. On Monday, you do 4 hours of dialing with Zach. On Tuesday, you do 2 hours of role playing with me, or a 4-hour class if this is your first time of the 3 breakdowns of a deal. On Wednesday, from 4 to 7, you dial with Zach. On Thursday, we all take a day off. On Friday, you dial again with Zach, or you take an open house scripting class with me, or the 3 breakdowns of a deal. That's what we're going to be doing every week. And then we urge you to commit to 2 4-hour open houses in your business every week. It comes out to 19 hours of prospecting and 2 to 4 hours of open house role playing. And we are available now through KW throughout the entire country, guys. That's one of the reasons why we went there. We started having a lot of people that were interested in joining our team that were not able to join our team, and tried to join other teams and may or may not have had great success. Some of them did have great success. Others quit real estate because the success rate is so low in real estate. I believe that the biggest problem that we're having with this low entry level career is that people don't know what to do. People don't know where to start. And so that's something that we're very good at, and that's what we're going to do. We are going to help you do, and we are going to help you hold yourself accountable and your teams accountable on January 31st for 33 days. Between now and then, we're still going to be grinding. It's not like it's January 31st, we're all of a sudden going to decide to work. We're going to be working between now and then. And if you want to show up and dial with the 2 new veterans that joined my team yesterday, if you want to show up and dial with 3 of the other people that are on our team that are showing up their Monday, Wednesday, Friday right now, or dial in with Zach digitally. We're basically going to be, we are a digital team. So if you guys, what's up, cousin? If you want to be a part of the Serpa team at KW, if you want to walk into your local KW and say, hey, I would really like to join the Serpa team, they're going to say, we don't have that here. And you're going to say, I would like to bring that here. Look him up. David Serpa's a pretty cool dude. I think that we can do something cool together. So if you guys have any questions, I have 6 people watching live, 7 people watching live. I'm here right now because so many people are trying to schedule appointments with me, but are unable to schedule appointments with me right now because I'm spending 2 of the next 3 weeks out of the state. We're looking to expand here in Washington State, and we've got meetings here with KW that align with me getting casted for my new brace so that I can start running again, which is the beautiful thing about Keller Williams is you can work wherever you are. You could walk into a KW office like I'm going to do later today, knock on some doors and say, hey, my name is David Serpa. I would love to see what I can do to help you guys out here in your Keller Williams office. I'm going to be back here next week, and I would love to come in and educate and help and make some people that are productive more productive. Maybe make people that are not productive, and then help you recruit more people into your office by just showing up, by just helping out, and then giving you systems that you can always dial live into, that you could always watch us live on if you're a part of the Serpa team. So I believe in what we're building. I also believe that people don't need to have preferred escrow companies. People don't need to have preferred lenders. People don't need to have preferred termite companies or preferred just about anything else. If you want to show up and provide value for the Serpa team at KW, we're happy to talk to you. There's quite a few ways where you can provide value. Zach Bach is running our affiliate program. And here are 2 of the ways that you can provide value as an affiliate with the Serpa team at KW. The first is, while I'm out in your market center and I'm teaching during the day on Tuesdays or on Fridays or on a Thursday or a Wednesday when I'm just around, and you want to teach in the evenings an education class for buyers, a seminar for sellers. If you want to teach to anyone about anything in a way that you think is going to help generate business for the Serpa team at KW, holler at your boy. I'll show up. I will teach with you. We will educate the public together. And then hopefully we will have some more clients that we can send to my agents and to you. It's all about reciprocity. And that's what we're going to be working on heavily going forward, is working with people that want to have reciprocal relationships. Another way that you can build a reciprocal relationship with the Serpa team at KW is to recruit for the Serpa team in your market center to have people join KW. We will hold them accountable. I will talk to them every day at 7:40. They'll be ready to dial with Zach on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8, and on Friday or Wednesdays at 7. And role play with me on Tuesdays and Fridays. We will be there holding them accountable. We will be there to help provide them with educational opportunities if they want them. I'm not going to beg people to work, though. So that's a big part of what we're doing, is educating the people that you may want to have join our team. So if you want to start recruiting for the Serpa team at KW in your market center, if you're a lender, if you're an escrow company, if you're in Sacramento, if you're in Tahoe, if you're in Reno, if you're in St. George, Utah, if you are anywhere, if you're an agent or otherwise, and you want to see the Serpa team come to your town, recruit. Start telling agents about the Serpa team. Start telling people about what we have going on. Start telling them about my track record of making 6-figure agents, and then see if they want to join us. And if they don't want to join us and they just want to dial in, give them an opportunity to just dial in and just watch us live and see if this is something that they want to be a part of. Pretty easy peasy. And then we'll help them nurture a relationship with you. And then as long as the reciprocal relationship continues, we'll be very happy to continue that going forward. So I'm going to work on this lighting a little bit. I feel like I'm looking a little bit washed out. And the fact that I haven't put beard oil in is really being highlighted right now with this background. A little harsh, but hey, we're doing what we can do with what we got. So, what questions do you guys have? I got my book coming out here in a couple of weeks. You guys want to talk about that? Anybody want to join in? We got the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate coming out here in about 2 weeks. My goal was to finish it in 2017 originally. That didn't happen. I went on a book tour for a book that I had not written yet, forcing myself to be accountable. I finished that book tour, having not finished that book. And then on December 29th, I started writing the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate, and I am over 160,000 words in at this point. What's up, Amy? It is a gorgeous morning in Gig Harbor, Washington. It's very beautiful. If you guys want to take a look, this is a vacation rental by owner, and it is more affordable than it would be for us to stay at a Best Western. And this person that is renting it out to us is a retired She worked in the healthcare world, and she retired, and now she rents this place out. And she makes twice, typically vacation rental by owners, and there's tons of misconceptions about VRBOs, and I'd be happy to shatter those misconceptions for you guys here. There's tons of misconceptions about VRBO. Typically, and this is what I learned from Jermaine Massey, they have a 90% occupancy rate. 90%. And there is an opportunity for you to either do it yourself or to work with an agent or a leasing facility. And then it's an opportunity, like people, their average stay is about 6 days. And then you will make twice as much. There's twice as much income available, whether you want to handle it yourself or have an agent handle it for you. You will still get paid the same amount if you have an agent handle it for you. But if you want to handle it yourself, there's a lot of income opportunities through VRBO, through vacation rentals, that are going to be made available to you. And the Serpa team at KW is going to be handling those once they get trained through Jermaine Massey to handle those. Yes, give book teasers. Okay, you guys want some information about the book? Nobody wants information about the book. Sorry, Aim. So the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate is a book that I have had in concept for the last 3 years or so after reading the Millionaire Real Estate Agent and realizing the similarities between the battalion and the structure on a team, between a company and the structure of a team. Small unit accountability. You've got your operations managers, you've got your closing team managers, you've got your team leads, you've got your listing team leads, etc. This is all small unit leadership. These are your squad leaders. And then they work on teams. And then typically people on those teams build it up and become leaders in their own right, and which is where really expansion teams come in. It's really where expansion teams come in. And if you're not working with expansion teams, then you are not a part of the future of real estate. And I'm just being completely honest with you. If you have something that you have built that is sustainable, that is fantastic, that is all these good things, and you want to continue to get paid and to do this good stuff, I'm sick of looking like I'm a serial killer. So I think I'm going to try to make this just look a little bit nicer. You've got this nice view, but I look like a killer. All right. What's next? I had a listing. Thank you, Daniel, for contributing. I had a listing in Oceanside on the beach that I sold in 2015 for $2.137 million that had built up a VRBO business with about 40% occupancy. I was bringing in $150,000 a year. When we sold, the buyer kept the VRBO in place and used it as a winter vacation spot for 3 months and continued the VRBO. Great cash flow, and it gave him a winter place. Fantastic. Daniel, thank you for contributing, brother. I appreciate it. So the thing is, about VRBO, there's a lot of misconceptions. People say, oh, well, VRBO isn't available in my neighborhood, or I'm not allowed to do VRBO here. The truth is, with VRBO, a lot of the things that you have to do are things that you have to do anyway, like smoke detectors, double strapping your freaking water heater. And then there's a few extra things like putting in a fire extinguisher and whatnot that you have to do. That really, it pays for itself in spades when you look at it. And then you don't have to worry about walking into a house that somebody may or may not have thrashed in a year. Instead, you have somebody checking in on it every 6 days, the average stay of the occupancy, and then sending you a picture on the quality of the home, or on the picture of the homes, and saying, hey, everything looks good. What's up, Christian Stone? What's up, Anthony? What's up, Tony? Guys, we're here. I'm answering questions for everybody about the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate. I'm answering questions about VRBO. I'm answering questions about YKW. Telling people that if you work at a flat fee company, be prepared to be paid in a flat fee. That's just the truth. Where's the skin in the game for KW to protect your commissions? Or not for KW, for friggin' flat fee companies to protect your commissions. It's not there. So they're banking on making their money in all of these other services that they're setting up around their brokerage. That's the only way to make money as a flat fee company in this world. It just is. You can't do it. There's no way to cut it. So what else? What else can I help you guys with? Oh, trust me. There's a reason why I didn't start the brokerage that I was. Remember the brokerage? Remember that great idea that I was throwing around that I wanted to start? Well, I broke down the finances and I realized that I would have to start several companies to make up for the loss of revenue that I would experience in my own personal business by leaving it to start a brokerage that is a flat fee company. It is much more financially beneficial to go into expansion teams, and I'm able to help a lot more people by not just focusing on my immediate market center. On that Oceanside place, Daniel, the guy that did the VRBO, that the guy made so much passive income, $150,000 on a year, and then still lived in for 3 months of the year. On that Oceanside place, the original owners had a business in town and an employee who managed it for them. So they were able to control things, made sure that the renters weren't thrashing the place. There's a lot of control that comes with VRBO. There's a lot of control that comes with short-term rentals that people don't realize. And the thing is you can put in a couple of bunk beds in a couple of the rooms and rent them out nightly for significantly more than you would rent them out for annually. And then you could still occasionally enjoy your own home. Just a thought, something to throw out there. What else can I help you guys with? Because otherwise, I'm just going to start teaching the open house class. And of course, if you guys want to watch Zach Bach, he is going live right now, teaching the open house class and doing open house role playing while I am here with you, talking to you about KW, talking to you about everything that we got going on. And I will be here for as long as there are people that are willing to interact with me, and as long as there are people that have questions. And if you don't have questions, and if you're just going to be a creepy watcher, then I might just get off this thing more quickly because I got a book that I got to write. I'm writing the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate. My goal originally was to write a 75,000 word document. Last night, I exceeded 160,000 words. 160,000. I'm going to give you guys some of the ideas here, some of the names of these chapters, just to kind of give some teasers on the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate, as Amy had asked earlier. So the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate. Here we go. It's written in 5 sections: the introduction, the first year, the second year, the third year, and bonus CEO stuff. So if you guys want to hear about one of those sections, I'd be happy to read you the titles in one of those sections. Katie Brock, Ortiz. I've been thinking about offering, let's see here. I've been thinking about offering seminars for active duty and veterans in my area, and including military affiliated lender and on the seminars. What are some key topics that you would recommend trying to bring some useful knowledge to our vets? Oh, yes, Katie. That's what happens when you got a military spouse out there that gets into real estate. Gear up. You're about to experience some really freaking fantastic things, as long as that person has a little bit of work ethic, which I know that Katie does. So the big things that people don't know about their VA loan is they don't realize that it is an entitlement that they are entitled to right now. It's not one of those things that like you suddenly have access to when you get out of the Marine Corps or when you get out of the Navy. It's something that you have access to immediately. I bought my first house as a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps with no money out of pocket, and all I had to pay with was $1,000 earnest money deposit, which I got back, and I had to pay for a home inspection by Matt Burnell, which was a couple $100, and I had an excellent agent, which was Tammy Runyon. And Tammy was so fantastic that she then inspired me, as I have done for so many of my other clients, to get into real estate. She told me how to do it. She gave me some mentorship getting started, and you know, she taught me all about my VA loan. So I think that the biggest thing is the misconceptions around the VA loan is that people don't know that it is available to them. They don't know how cheap it is, and they also don't know that they can typically buy a house for less than they are paying, or less than they are getting in their BAH, which is their basic housing allowance. And then the other thing is that they can buy multiple houses in multiple different states, much as like you'll meet a lot of very intelligent like gunnery sergeants and master sergeants that have used their VA loan in different states over and over and over again. And essentially what you do is you get to a point to where you have a VA entitlement, you clear up 20% in equity, you refi conventional, you take that VA loan that you've now freed up and you use it in another state and another military base, you rent out to other military members, and then they can have an affordable place to rent, which is fantastic. But you also are renting to someone where you can utilize the chain of command and hold them accountable if they decide to do some Lance Corporal stuff and throw a big freaking party and get crazy. So yeah, lots of good information out there for VA. The big thing is that there are a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of people that don't realize that they can actually think as an entrepreneur while they're still in the military, which is what's cool when you get a chance to talk to some really cool senior guys that are willing to pass it along. Daniel says, the KW structure really shines if you have an upwards trajectory in your business. Then the KW cap in this marketplace gives you basically a $21,000 a year flat fee. once you save $4 to $5 million per year and are increasing, then this is the best structure in town. So Daniel, nailed it, brother. You nailed it. I love that you use the flat fee term just to kind of throw it right back. The thing is, people don't understand that there is a different option if you are planning on being successful. If you're on a team, the cap at KW is about 4 transactions. Four transactions. Just don't plan on being awful and you'll be fantastic. If you are on your own, the cap is about 15 transactions. Stop planning on hitting the minimums. But if you plan on hitting the minimums, don't come to KW because it will cost more money. You're absolutely right. You can use it more than once. Amy Serpa, my own sister. See? Amy is a Iraq combat veteran. She served in the Air Force. And Amy has not yet used her VA loan. I'm telling you, people just don't know. Amy, I love that you asked that question. I'm going to answer it right now. Yes, you can use it more than once. Okay, so the first thing with the VA loan to understand is, well, there's a million things to understand because it's a little bit complicated, but it's actually just a lot more simple than people realize. Yes, you can use it more than once. Now, typically, the first time there's no charges. There's no charges. There's no funding fees. Like everything is typically covered by the lender. You can have the seller cover it, except for the earnest money deposit and the cost of the home inspection, typically. Now, of course, it's a seller's market, so you have to be well represented, like I was when I work with Tammy Runyon, like my clients are when they work with my agents. And you have to understand how to work that offer. You can use it more than once. You have to pay a funding fee the next time, which is typically about $5,000. Sometimes people will ask a seller to cover that, though most sellers are not typically willing to cover it because they shouldn't have to. If it is a buyer's market, you'll get away with that more. If it is a seller's market and the seller's listing has been sitting for a while, you might get away with it, but it ends up being like between the $8,000 in closing cost and the $5,000 funding fee, it ends up being like a $13,000 fee for the listing agent, which is, or for the seller, which is a lot of money for a seller to have to assume. Now, that being said, if you have a VA disability rating, which I think it just has to be 0 or above, but I'm not totally sure about that. You'll have to talk to a lender about this. Hopefully one can answer this question here in the comments. If you have some sort of a VA disability rating, your VA funding fee is waived. So you can use it again and again and again and again without the extra $5,000 fee every time. Now, that being said, you only have a certain entitlement that you are able to use, that you can only like you can't go buying 10 houses tomorrow with your VA loan, which I know that some people would absolutely do and then run it for everybody if they could. But no, so you can't do that. But you could absolutely buy a home, start renting it out, then get the renters in place, and then buy another home. Lots of different things that you can do with that VA loan to put it to work for you so that you can become an entrepreneur, so that you can become a landlord, and talk to your senior guys. Talk to your gunnies, talk to your first sergeants, talk to people that have been around for a while that own 3-4 houses, because they're out there. They are out there. Katie Brock, yes, I love that refi conventional. Yeah, so the big thing is when you get a VA loan, it's a 0 down loan, which means you have no equity, which means if the market takes a turn, that you could be in a bad place along with everybody else. But the market outlook looks fantastic right now for using a VA loan. And I'm not one of those guys that's just going to say that just to kind of rip you off. The outlook is good. It's positive. So use your VA loan. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel weird about it. And talk to your senior guys around you that are happy to give you the education that you need. Ask me questions like this on Tuesday. Say, hey, Dave, How do I freaking use my VA loan and then become a landlord so that I can own 3 or 4 houses by the time that I retire, and then sell those 4 houses and then have a freaking $1 million to sit around with? Or don't sell those houses and then use those 4 incomes, those 4 rental incomes, to subsidize your crappy retirement pay that you can't live on anyway. I like all the time I hear people saying, oh, I'm going to stay in for 10 more years so that I can retire. Stay in for 10 more years if you love it. Stay in for 10 more years in the Marine Corps if you love it. That's why I would stay in if I was going to stay in. If you want to stay in so that you can make a great financial decision, it's not necessarily the best one. Understand that you're serving, which is great. I respect the hell out of you for it. And there are fantastic benefits that go along with that. But risk, reward. Risk, reward. There are also people that walked away from retirement that regret it. So you have to understand, if you're not going to work your freaking tail off, don't do it. Karen with the K, veteran as well. This is what I was talking to you guys about in the other 3-minute video. She had 1 listing all year, took 4 listings in a freaking month, became the top listing agent in her office after taking the 3 breakdowns of a deal. I didn't make it up. It's just the truth. Amy Serpa, that's amazing. It is amazing. Thank you, sister. There's a lot of people watching, lots of people tuning in. Not a lot of people contributing, but I got a couple that are doing it. Opportunities there. Thank you so much. You're so smart, Dave. Aw, great stuff. Thanks, Katie. Okay, guys. What else you guys got? We're talking about, so we've already talked about vacation rentals. We've already talked about how to use your VA loan to become an investor, to become a landlord, to become somebody that can own 4 houses when they get out in 20 years instead of somebody that owns nothing, or just owns 1. We talked about what I can do with educating affiliates in your local areas so that you can attract more buyers and more clients to my team in your area. We have people contacting us right now, and I know that this sounds freaking crazy to everybody else, but this is the beauty about influencer marketing. I have people contacting me right now all over the country wanting me to list their house, knowing that it won't be me, but that it will be an agent on my team. But I can't go out and, have all these listing appointments in Northern California. I can't go out and have all these listing appointments in St. George, Utah, or in Las Vegas, Nevada, or in freaking Seattle, Washington. So that's why I'm here. I'm talking to people that are willing to freaking take these appointments for me. But the thing is we're not giving away free listing appointments. We're not just handing people stuff. You have to show up. You have to be willing to work. You have to be willing to grind. And if I get the extra listing appointment, if I get the extra buyer, if we get that fantastic referral market going, that network market going, fantastic. But in the interim, I am going to teach you how to fish. And then your butt cheeks better freaking fish. What's next? Also, if you want to get into freaking expansion teams, join my team, cut your teeth. I'll teach you how to freaking run expansion teams. Guys, with KW, I don't have to freaking hold you back. It's why we don't have buyers agents. It's why we don't have listing agents. We have agents that we are coaching and holding accountable for 40%. That's the way it breaks down, baby. It doesn't need to be crazy. I keep hearing people talk about they expect home prices to come down in 2018. From what I can see with extremely low inventory levels, so far I don't see any way that prices are going down in the foreseeable future. Why do you think people are saying that unless it's wishful thinking? I love that Daniel, you're officially becoming my favorite person to freaking talk to on Facebook. But then again, I got my sister and I've got Katie on here too. But brother, fantastic question. Why do people keep saying that home prices are going to come down in 2018? Well, a lot of people keep expecting a lot of things to happen, and they've been expecting prices to come down for a long time. This is what I tell everyone. Look at people that are a lot more intelligent than I am, people that are a lot more intelligent than you are, and see if they're building. They don't make new houses to have them sit. And right now, new houses are being built like crazy. Now, that being said, keep an eye on the inventory. One of the greatest indications that there's been a shift in the market is new houses sitting empty. Nobody told me that. Nobody freaking, but the thing is you have to think about it. You have to think about supply demand. You have to think about when people are going to start tightening their belts. And the thing is there are new houses that are out there. And if they're sitting empty, that's typically the best time that you can really strike as a buyer's agent, and you know that they have more that they can negotiate with. But people keep saying, oh, we're going to return to REO. We're going to return to REO. It is 10 times more likely that new homes are going to be the REO of the future, which is why I have built an REO type network with Jesse Zagorski, with Mike Bjorkman, with David Golden. We are networking new homes right now. I'll just tell you that. We're networking new homes. Why? Because with every new home purchase, there's an opportunity for 3 transactions. And I'm not going to tell you about all of that, but it comes in handling contingencies. And when you get a chance to handle contingencies, handle them right. Because then you get bigger opportunities, like potentially handling all of Southern California's contingencies for a certain builder, and then needing a bunch of agents that you can network with so that you can list houses all over Southern California so that people can buy new homes with a certain company. That's the future. The future is new homes. Zig when everyone else is zagging. If people are freaking about REO, go to new homes. If people are freaking out about listings and prospecting for listings, prospect buyers. It is cheaper. You can afford it. And I love that. I love there's like a couple of people who are like a little bit grumpy about it. I love when I get like the angry things, but I'm getting a lot of love too. So zig when everybody else is zagging. Understand that when everybody else is chasing listings, chase buyers. Why? Because you will have the busiest open houses that you've ever had in a seller's market because people are out there looking. Buyers are out there in spades. They don't have to pay a commission. If you can help them to understand that, hey, the listing agent actually pays my commission. You don't even have to pay a commission. I'm free to use for you. But if you want some good representation, I will help you see homes. As soon as I close up this open house at 3 o'clock, we'll go out and we'll look at 4 o'clock. And I'll take you to see all the homes that aren't open. Guys, why do I work 11 to 3 open houses? So that you can schedule appointments at 4 o'clock and so that you can schedule appointments at 8:30 the next morning. It's as simple as that. Just zig while everyone else is zagging. Everyone else is calling expired listings and canceled and FSBOs and all these different things. That's great. Do that if you're fantastic at it and if you want to do that. If you're not fantastic at it and if you don't want to do that, focus on open houses. Open houses are buy now business from people that actually want to buy. You just have to learn how to represent them effectively and learn how to talk to them so that they understand the value in working with a real estate agent. This is David Serpa doing his freaking one-on-one with the world. All right. We got lots of people watching. I got a lot of people tuning in. I'm looking for some more questions that I can answer for you. But until then, let's talk a little bit more about zigging. Oh, wait, here we go. Nope, no more questions. I'm going to talk a little bit more about zigging while everyone else is zagging, because this is everybody right now is chasing listings. Everybody else is chasing listings. Now, I want you to understand something. This is something that we've been doing on David Serpa and the Homes team, the Serpa team, all these different things, etc. While everyone else was doing their different things, it's something that we have built together. So this is something that came from my old business partner, Rob. It was a saying that he brought to me, zig when everyone else zags. It was something that we'd been doing for years, but he gave me the words for it. Zig when everyone else zags. And so one way that you could zig while everyone else is zagging as a new agent is while everyone else is dialing on Monday morning from 8 to 12, hold an open house. People are like, that's crazy. Don't hold an open house on Monday morning from 8 to 12. Okay, well, understand this. Hold an open house from 8 to 12 that's vacant, set up all your signs, and then dial from your open house. Well, why would you do that? Because you're probably not going to have anybody walking in through the front door anyway. But if you are, you can always set the phone down. But you know what's happening? Every Monday morning while everyone else is driving to work, they're seeing that your signs are out on the same street that they are driving in their neighborhoods. They start seeing the Serpa team at KW out every morning from 8 to 12. They say, wow, they work. Make it your office, baby. Make it your office. Just popped in. Guess now is a good time to start the process. Yes, ma'am. It's always a good time to start the process. I was busy inviting, good morning, handsome. I guess my mom's been inviting people. Hey, Mom. Good morning. Good morning, Holly. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Anthony Andre. Good morning, Lacey. Good morning, everybody. So Karen with a K, like I love seeing you on here. Good morning, Megan, one of my past clients. Good morning, Christian Stone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Serena. Zig when everyone else is zagging. So hold that open house from 8 to 12, put your signs out so that everybody else sees that your signs are up, and then dial from that open house. And then that way you don't get to complain and say, well, nobody came into my open house. It was boring. Well, guess what? You had all that time to dial. Because when you're holding an open house from 11 to 3, what should you be doing? Well, nobody came into my open house. Okay, so what? You know what I was doing when I held my open houses? I would walk in with 6 binders, which was my book of business because I didn't have the CRM, because I didn't know what a CRM was. 6 binders, and I would literally go through and I would call each person from my book of business, and I would date when I called them last, and I would try to book appointments for that day at 4 o'clock after my open house or the next morning at 8:30. And I would keep dialing at my open house until I booked an appointment for after my open house that day, before my open house the next day, and after my open house the following day. Unless you have 3 open house, or unless you have 3 appointments booked in addition to your open house, you are not working. An open house takes 4 hours. That means that you have 4 more hours that you can be working on that day if you want to be a full-time real estate agent. If you just want to give it a go at being a full-time real estate agent before quitting and before getting a real job, then work a 2-hour open house and call it a day. If you want to really change your life, and if you really want to help your children, and if you really want to change everything that you can for your family through a generational tool of real estate, show up ready to work in 2018. Or your 2018 will look like your 2017. Brian Brummett, what's up, homie? Brian Brummett is a guy that I used to act with in LA. I actually mentioned Brian in my book, The Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate. He played a character called Slick Tim in a movie that I wrote with my ex-wife and directed with her. And when the writers, look, this is a perfect example for you guys. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about my career in the entertainment industry. This coffee's cold. Everything's cold. It's Gig Harbor, Washington. It's freezing, but it's a beautiful day. It's absolutely beautiful. I thought I was going to need a jacket. Okay, so the Writers Guild went on strike in 2007. And that was, it just so happened to be right after I joined the Screen Actors Guild. So I joined the Screen Actors Guild. I work my tail off. I do everything that I can, and I join the Screen Actors Guild. I pay the freaking $2,000+, which for me was a lot of money because I was living in a North Hollywood bachelor, which is it's basically like a studio apartment, but you don't have a kitchen. It's basically like it's like a room with a bathroom. But I was living in North Hollywood, and I scratched together the $2,000. I joined the Screen Actors Guild after getting lucky enough to join the Screen Actors Guild. Worked my tail off with Brian, actually. And I've got some great stories about that. But what happened was the Writers Guild went on strike, and it essentially, and I understand why they did it, but it killed the industry. A lot of people were affected, and it wasn't just the people at the top. It was the food service providers. It was the background actors. It was the people that had regular parts on series. And the thing is I understand the need for a strike. I do. But what we did was we decided to film a non-union feature film that was an action movie. There was a million different ways that we could have done that, but instead we took out a $60,000 loan and directed a movie that Tracy and I wrote together, and we spent a bunch of money on props, and it tanked. It was a movie that had a lot of great moments, but was garbage. But you know what we did? We took a shot. We took a shot, and we went for it, and we worked hard. When everyone else was sitting around saying, "I can't work. I have to wait for the strike to be over. I have to wait for the strike to be over to work. I have to wait for the new year. I have to wait for the holidays to be over. I have to wait to be licensed to work." You don't have to wait to work. You can always work. It's just a matter of how badly you want to work. If you want to work, you will work. If you don't want to work, you will find an excuse. All right. What else we got? Amy Serpa. When will you make a real estate movie? Oh, my God. Or the Machine Gunner's Guide movie. So the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate is going to be an instructional book. And it is all about real estate, but I talk a lot about real estate, entrepreneurship, film and television, and war, and being poor. I think it's one of those things that people don't know a way up. People don't know how to get started. They also don't know the next step up. And I don't want to be somebody that is stuck in real estate or in anything else, having the same conversations over and over and over again, when I could put them into a book and help more people. Because if you are having the same conversation with the same person, you have to get out of that room. Period. If you are living your life in a reciprocal motion, not in a reciprocal motion, in a relationship that cycles like this, then you have to understand that you are reliving probably some cycles that you lived as a child. You are letting people take advantage of you, or you're just letting people not improve their own lives. And if you are trying to change your frequency and to become a higher functioning person that can work harder, you have to be willing to level up your mind. And to be willing to level up your mind, you have to, and there's a lot of people very frustrated about this, and that's okay. You can be frustrated about this. You have to level up your peer group. You have to level up your mind. And if your peers refuse to level up, if they refuse to take a hand up, if they refuse to take that next step, you have to look for more people that are willing to do it. It's unfortunate. And yes, it is very heartbreaking. And it's very sad. But the thing is you can't continue to give to people that are not willing to give to themselves. You have that the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And I think that it's actually significantly worse than that. You can lead a horse to water. You can scoop the bucket up. You can scoop the water. You can place the water in front of the horse and ask them to drink. And they will resent you for it. People have to be willing to have skin in the game. People have to be willing to work. Otherwise, they will just resent you for why they were not successful and then move forward on in their careers, continuing to blame other people for why things did not work out here. And you could look at my career and you could say that I've done the same thing. And I would agree with you. You know, if you continue, if there's a problem in every room, you might be the problem. So, you know, unless we are continuing to enlighten ourselves, and unless we are continuing to take massive steps forward in our own progress as individuals, as our own progress as leaders in our businesses and in the world, we will be acted upon, unfortunately. So I'm getting long-winded. People are starting to tune out, I can see, and that is not the case. So what do you guys want to know? Because if it goes back under 5 people, I think we'll probably just go and we'll call it. Because if we're not going to, if I'm not going to be one of those people that just ums and likes and uhs and, hey guys, we're basically doing this today. We're basically like, this is basically a house, and I'm basically just holding an open house today. And basically, oh, hey man, what's up, Chad? Hey man, what's up, Tommy? What's up, guys? I'm not going to do that live video. So unless I'm going to be on here having an intellectual conversation with a lot of really good people, I am going to tune off. What do you think makes you a good real estate genius? Oh, Rosemary. Okay. What makes you a good real estate genius? I'm going to answer the question. So I grew up very poor. I grew up in Section 8 housing. I grew up jumping around, moving around with my mom and my 2 sisters around. I grew up around women. And that's part of the reason why I'm so smart, is because I grew up around women. My dad was kind of in and out, which is okay. That's okay. I don't begrudge anyone for any of their participation in my life or lack thereof. But because of it, I was forced to learn how to read a room from a very young age. I was forced to learn how to adapt quickly from a very young age and start earning money young, understanding money young, because my mom was typically always having a financial problem because she didn't see a way up. And so I started working very hard from a very young age. I never stopped working. I moved out when I was 18 while we were living with another family. And I moved down south. I worked hard in San Diego. I got into professional theater while I was working full-time and going to school full-time. Ended up going to LA, where I worked really hard at getting into acting on screen. But while I wasn't on screen, I continued to write and direct stage. I was in an improv group, a lot of different things like that, so that I continued to sharpen my tool and I continued to work. Because like I said, no one can ever tell you that you can't work. You have to consciously make the decision not to work. And so when I jumped into real estate, I got into real estate with a fused and reconstructed ankle, an Achilles that had 2 surgeries done on it, a child to feed, and being the sole provider of my household and getting out and frankly struggling with some PTSD, I was forced to provide. I did not have the option of taking it easy. I did not have the option of working into it gradually, which I think is one of the biggest problems that people have, is that they give themselves the option of working into it gradually. I gave myself baptism by fire. I refused to wait for all of the new higher classes, and I started working open houses immediately. Immediately. I opened 7 escrows in my second month in real estate. January 31st, which happens to be the first day of the 33-day challenge. Between January 31st and the next 30 days, I opened 7 escrows because I was willing to talk to people. I'm willing to see what they need, what they're looking for. And I'm not so desperate to take care of myself because I understand what going without really looks like. I'm not so desperate to take care of myself that I'm willing to take advantage of my clients. And I think that people take notice of that pretty quickly when they were working with me very early, Rosemary. So that's one of the reasons why I think I'm a good real estate genius. But the thing is there are people that are designed entirely differently than me that are fantastic real estate agents that would disagree with just about everything that I have to say. Christian Stone is a fantastic real estate agent that dials. I never cold call. I never do it. I hate it. Zach Bach does it every day. He loves it. I like to call warm leads, people that I can call and offer value to. And so that's what I do. I never know when like these angry things and all these emotions are coming in because they're so lapsed. But the thing is just, work hard and understand that Mia McLeod, who's a fantastic real estate agent, runs a team entirely different than I do. Marcel Hinsley, who did about the same numbers that I did with a team that is a fifth my size, is entirely different than I am. And I can learn a great deal from her. And when you stop walking into rooms and thinking that you can learn things from people, when you stop walking into rooms and thinking, I'm the smartest person in this room, then it gives you an opportunity to be improved by the other people in the room. I have been very fortunate in that all of the people that I started my team with, all of my OGs, sharpened me. They sharpened me. They improved me. And despite the fact that none of them are here at KW, and that's okay. They all have their own journeys to live. That's okay. I would love to have, if all of them came back and said that they wanted to be here tomorrow, I would say, welcome home. Fantastic. If that doesn't happen, that's okay. Because what happened was I was made better. I was made better because I allowed myself to be in rooms with people that challenged me. I was made better because I allowed my buyer's agents, my team, to say, I don't agree with that. Let's try it this way. Or, hey, I like that. Let's add this. Now, when you can become a leader that listens to your team, you can become a real leader. If you are not a leader that listens to your team, you might want to question your leadership capabilities. For example, one of the things that I wrote about in my book, The Machinegunners Guide to Real Estate, which is going to be out here in about 2 weeks on January 31st, is leadership. I wrote about it extensively. Sergeant Jeffrey Reber, who passed away as Staff Sergeant Jeffrey Reber, was the best leader that I've ever had the right to follow. Not the right, I earned that right. The best leader that I have ever followed, Jeffrey Reber. And I learned to lead from watching him lead. Because when he set about patrol intentions, first off, he made sure he was looking out for his Marines. Second, he would say, this is what we're going to be doing. What do you guys think? And then he would allow us input when we were allowed to have input. And because of that, more of us were able to come home alive from Afghanistan. Because the person at top looked at us and said, how can we make this better? How can this patrol become more safe or more violent or more intentional? How can we bring more people back? And if he did not feel like we were being properly represented, if he didn't feel like we were being properly supported, He pulled the freaking plug. He said no. He said no to his leadership in order to keep more people alive. Period. When you can say no, you should if you need to. If you cannot say no because you cannot, then you better do what you have to do to get by and do it to the best of your ability. Sergeant freaking Jeffrey Reber, the best freaking squad leader that I could have ever have had the opportunity to serve with. I would redo Afghanistan a million times over if he got to be the one leading me there. So what do I think makes me a great real estate genius? Learning how to lead by great leaders. Learning how to lead by following great leaders. I learned so much from my senior drill instructor by the way that he carried his weapon. And it had nothing to do with me going on later in my life, but I realized that it was about having an air about you. Okay? And I'm going to do this to you guys because basically we're talking about the Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate here. Sean Murray, who is a theater director of Signet Theater down in San Diego, gave me my first professional theater gig. He told me, and this ties in with carrying your weapon in a way that says, don't mess with me, don't mess with us. You're gonna want to shoot at somebody else. It's not us today. That's what I learned from Gunnery Sergeant Livingston, walking around. Well, I'm just going to call him Mr. now because I don't know what he currently ranks. Walking around with an air of authority that says, you don't want to. You don't want to do that. And it kept people alive, period. Now, flash back a couple of years prior to my mom is saying, read the book though. My mom did actually read the book. She's one of the few people that I'm allowing to read the book. I'm letting all the women that I love in my life, all of my favorite women, the women that I grew up with, my two sisters, Amy, Deanna, my mom, Hillary, my cousin, Bridget, and of course, my beautiful wife, Kate, who we will make things official with all of you guys at some point or another. They're the ones reading the book so that they can sharpen me. And then eventually I will let Adam Nelson read it before I send it out there to the world to make sure that it's a fantastic book. And in that book, I talk about this story, my first professional theater gig. I was the only background actor. I was 19 years old. I was the only background actor. And I keep seeing this like hateful thing that like pops up across the screen. It's like, I'm angry. We're angry. Let's see. Which way is it going? I want to like do this together with it. Anger. Okay, it's okay. You could be angry. It's okay. There it is again. Anger. Oh, it's all right. Pop off. So my first professional theater job was with Sean Murray at Signet Theater. at Signet Theater, and he told me I had it was Las Meninas. Hey, Kate. How are you? Oh my God, I have food. Fantastic. People are very excited to see you right now, Kate.
Hi, guys.
Kate says hi, everybody. So my first professional theater gig, I got cast by a guy named Sean Murray. I was the only background actor, which is hilarious. But I tried out for the King. I didn't get the part. A actor that was much better than me got the part. His name was Darren, and he played the hell out of it. But what happened was, the line was, I simply grew tired of his constant braggadocio and asked him whatever, okay? The point is, I went to play royalty. I started talking like I was a king. And he gave me a line that I will never forget to this day, and I put it in my book. He said, kings don't play royalty. Everyone around them plays royalty. I spent the next several weeks playing royalty for Darren in the background and responding to him in a way that says, you're the man, so that he didn't have to do it. Because the thing is, with people that grow up with an air of authority about them, that grow up with a silver spoon in their mouth, all these different things, they don't have to play royalty. We do it for them. People that are successful, they don't have to play royalty. Just look at a room at the next party that you go to, and you will find out who the royalty is. And so I learned that at a very young age, to read the room, find out who the royalty is in it. Hey, Kate, do we have more coffee in that coffee pot? Oh, it's in my hand. You're amazing. I love you so much. The people in that room that are not playing royalty, they're just hanging out. They're just doing them. They're just talking to people, but everyone wants to talk to them. Or if they're a scary person and they're scary royalty, Kate's laughing in there. If they're scary royalty, people don't want to talk to them at all. They stay back. They stay clear, right? So what happens is when there's a scary person that has an air of authority about them, you'll notice when you watch a room long enough and you shut up, who the authorities are, who the kings are, and whether or not they're good kings, just by reading people's body language. Where I learned how to read body language, a lot of people ask me, "Hey, David, did you study NLP?" No, I did not. I did not study any NLP. It's something that I picked up on naturally, but it's also something that I have learned through theater and through martial arts and through growing up poor, and through the Marine Corps. So, by Kate. So through the Marine Corps, you would study a group of people from a distance. And it was something that you did, I did it as a machine gunner. It was a part of that course. Snipers do it as well. And you learn how to read and observe an entire group of people from a distance to figure out who the important key members are in that group based on the body language of the groups around them. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. There's this great video, and it's the white team. Count how many passes the white team makes. And what happens is you count all these. There's two teams that jump out. There's the black team and the white team, and they're both passing 2 balls. And while you're counting how many times the white team is passing the ball, a bunny rabbit, a giant bunny rabbit, I think, starts moonwalking across the floor, but nobody sees them moonwalking because they're counting the basketball passes. So whenever something is happening, I'm always saying, well, where's the slow day, or where's the moonwalking bunny rabbit, or the moonwalking panda? Where's the moonwalking panda? If you can't find the moonwalking panda, you're not paying attention enough. Okay, Rosemary. Yes, Hillary, I know I need to read the book, but I invited friends here who don't know much about him and what he does and his real estate secrets and his ambition in this business. Are you doing House Hunters again? I'm not doing House Hunters again. I was going to be doing House Hunters again with my wonderful clients, Jared and Samantha Archer. The Archer family was amazing. We got through the whole process. We got selected. This ended up being a huge freaking bummer. We got selected. The kids did. I even did an audition video with the kids. We were talking with the producers. They closed on the house. We were either going to film that week or it wasn't going to happen at that point. And then what happened was we couldn't get approval from either the HOA or the city. We couldn't get someone to sign off. And what happened was the producers told us this is something that happens a lot with House Hunters. They will do everything that they need to do. They'll do all the filming, all the paperwork, do everything that they need. And then what will happen is last minute, they can't get approval to bring cameras into that community because of the HOA or because of there not being somebody that's willing to say, hey, yes, it's okay for you guys to film here. So bureaucracy. So am I doing House Hunters again? I am not. I certainly would not be against getting back on TV. God knows I try to get myself on television enough by trying to film myself doing everything and spending a ton of money doing that. So where do you get warm leads from? Doing great things, man. Fun to watch. Matthew, brother, I appreciate it, homie. Where do you get warm leads from? My favorite warm leads are at open houses. Why do people not work open houses? It is like genuinely buy now business. So the mega open house is a lie. And I want to talk about that. And I think I might have time. Okay, there are some things that I'm going to have to catch up on. That's okay. Okay, no. Oh, yep. Okay, cool. All right. We're going to focus on open houses for a second. Cool, dude? That way you can get some of these fun to watch. Thanks, brother. Okay. Oh, wow, House Hunters. No way. That's awesome. Congrats. Hey, Katie. Those are smiley faces. My mom may have just accidentally been making angry faces. That may have just been my mom this whole time. Okay, so open houses. So the mega open house is a lie. Everybody buys these courses. Everybody buys into coaching. Everybody spends $2,000, $3,000, $10,000, all thinking that they're going to, at some point or another, experience this mind-blowing, hair-blowing back, hair-raising experience where they're going to have a mega open house and there's going to be 800 people that are going to walk through the door. I thought it was possible too. Nobody has ever hung as many freaking open house signs as I hung. I mean, gosh, everybody in Winchester knows that. They're like, oh, Serpa's out holding an open house again. You hang 60 open house signs and then 2 banners that are constantly updating people on the local market. I used to say, I used to hang banners all the time that said, I sold 8 out of my last 10 listings in under a week and for the highest prices in years. And I held it for as long as it was true. And I kept it up for as long as it was true. And then when it became 9 out of 10, I put a 9 over the freaking 7 or the 9 over the 8. Guys, just let people know that you're out there working and advertise effectively. That's what you want to do with an open house. The point is with an open house is you want to get branded. You either get branded by something you believe in or you build something that you believe in and brand it. But either way, your name and your number has to be on your open houses. I would encourage you to put your face on your open house. But the thing is that's not my decision to make. That's your decision to make. And of course, I'm going to be with you guys for another hour, and then I'm going to go get fitted for my brace again so that I can start running. But open houses. This is how you talk to people at an open house. I'm going to just break it down for you real good. Let them walk in. First and foremost, let them walk in. Everybody in the world just say, hey, tune in to David Serpa. He's getting ready to freaking break down his open house script right now live, an hour in. And I'm going to break it down for you guys. You ready? When somebody walks in, I let them walk in. I do not hold the open house hostage. I don't do it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kill this live video. I'm going to start a new video, and I'm just going to call it Open Houses Live. And we're going to do it for an hour. Cool, guys? Tune right back in. David Serpa. I'm going to cut this video here now, and we're just going to do an open house video. Love you guys.